What's fun, celebrated over 4 days, features some of our favorite princesses and turns 15 this year? The Run Disney Princess Half Marathon Weekend, of course. A few days ago, we were graced with the presence of the Royal Event Guide, and we'll be taking a look at it in detail in this video. Whether it's your first Run Disney event or 100th, there are some things to note in this guide that you'll want to be sure and stay tuned for. Glass slippers on, let's go. The event guide opens in usual fashion with a welcome from one of our fearless leaders, Farron Kelly, who you may have seen make an appearance in my Marathon Weekend Expo video linked above. In his welcome letter, he reminds us the theme for the weekend. It pays homage not only to the featured princesses, but also to those in whom they draw their strength. It truly does take a village, and you've probably realized this as you've trained for these events. Whether it be online friends, running groups, or YouTube video, there's no way that we can do this alone and without encouragement. So allow me to thank you for encouraging not only me, but all of those around you. You are part of my Run Disney village. Hey, you think we could pool our resources and stay a night at the Cinderella Castle Suite? Maybe? I'll look into it. After you've read through the main stage area of the guide, you'll move over to the Digital Expo tab. Here you'll be able to read more about the celebrated charity for the weekend, be able to listen to playlists full of Disney music, which can be the soundtrack to your weekend, as well as take a peek at some of the highlighted booths in the vendor hall. This section is always worth your time, so I highly suggest that you take a peek at it when you get a chance. Let's move in to the heart and soul of the event guide, the events of the weekend. Princess Half Marathon Weekend officially kicks off with the first event. Yes, I call it an event because it 100% is the Expo. The Expo begins Thursday, February 23rd at 10 a.m. and runs until 8 p.m. that evening. Friday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday, February 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pro tip: there is no day of race bib pickup, so you have to attend the Expo prior to your race day. This means for the 5K runners, you have to attend on Thursday, no questions asked. New this season is the addition of the virtual queue for day one. Let me repeat, day one only for the official merchandise. You may be wondering, how in tarnation do you join the virtual queue, especially if you've never done it before? Well, you're in luck, because not only is it super easy, but I'll walk you through exactly how to do it. Make sure that you have the My Disney Experience app installed and logged into your device with location services turned on. Pro tip: if you're wanting to shop with a group of friends or family, make sure that you're all linked in the app. You can have up to 6 people on your particular queue at a time. Once you've added everyone in your party, you can join the queue at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and if you're within approximately 45 miles of the Walt Disney World Resort. Joining the queue is easy. All you need to do is to go to the 3-line hamburger menu at the bottom right side of the app. From there, you'll tap Virtual Queues, and you will then be prompted to join Virtual Queue. The Run Disney merchandise option will be shown here. Reminder: make sure that you've added yourself to the list of shoppers, because I nearly made a critical error during a Wine and Dine by not doing that. Begin refreshing this page at 8:29 and click Join as soon as the option pops up to do so. If you successfully join the queue, you'll be shown an approximate wait and return time. This time is based off when the Expo opens at 10, so don't be surprised if it shows a long wait time. When it's your turn to shop, you'll get a push notification sent to your device, where you will then have 1 hour to return to the Advent Health Arena. Follow the signs for the check-in, and once you get to the arena, have the QR code ready to show the cast members. Enjoy your shopping experience. But here's another pro tip: make sure that you get all of your shopping done in this one trip, as you will most likely not be able to rejoin the queue and enter for a second time the same day. Those of you who are Club Run Disney Gold and Platinum members, Gold and Platinum only, don't worry about any of this because you, my friends, get early access to the merchandise on day one. Platinum members can enter the merchandise section starting at 8:30 and Gold can enter starting at 9. Make sure that you bring your membership card and ID with you. You will also have a special designated lounge with bib pickup located on the second floor of the arena. Follow the signs and cast member direction if you're unsure of where to go. Okay, so let's say you're like me and you get a return time slated for the afternoon. Whatever shall we do? Well, lucky for us, there's plenty to do elsewhere on the ESPN wide world of sports property, like bib pickup and vendors, more shopping and Joffrey's, more shopping. Bib pickup is located in the State Farm Field House. You'll need to make sure that you have your EXPO check-in pass and ID in order to pick up your bib. With the addition of the virtual queue for merch, Run Disney has essentially shifted where people form a line. Way back in the day, people like me would get in line for merchandise around 6:30 a.m. We would sit in line, we formed friendships, we sang Kumbaya, we braided each other's hair, we ate donuts, we did everything, for upwards of 3.5 hours in order to be some of the first to get access to merchandise. Now that we can no longer do that, the line that would have formed for merch has now formed for bib pickup. Marathon weekend, the crew and I waited in line outside the field house for almost an hour in order to get our bibs. And then this was after milling around the entrance of the complex, taking pictures, catching up, hugging everyone, getting coffee. We did that for almost an hour as well. So as always, pack your patience pants for day one of the expo. Race shirt pickup for all race distances, including the challenge, is located in the Athletic Center. Just a reminder, you have to have your bib in order to pick up your shirt. So if you choose to spend your first few minutes or hours in the Athletic Center, you will not be able to pick up your shirts just yet. Pro tip, if after you get your bib and you make your way to get your shirts, you realize they don't fit, there will be a place to exchange sizes here, and cast members and volunteers will be more than happy to assist you as long as supplies last. Exhibitors are also located here and include fan favorites such as Sparkle Athletic, Bippity Boppity Brook, Fit to Run, Fluffy Fizzies, and many, many more. The Athletic Center is also where you can see upcoming medals for the remaining weekends and maybe some sneak peeks at upcoming weekends too. I know what you're thinking. This all sounds fine and good and manageable and stress-free, but Kristen, how in the whole new world am I going to get there? Well, if you're staying on property, there will be bus transportation to the expo, and it will begin running approximately 30 minutes prior to expo opening time, so around 9:30. If you're driving, you're more than welcome to drive yourself and arrive at your leisure. Those with Gold and Platinum Club Run Disney memberships, personal vehicles, Lyft, minivans, or rides from friends are your only options for arriving for your early access. Yoga. If you are one of the lucky few to get the hot ticket of the weekend, Princess Yoga, this next portion of the video is for you. As I've said in previous event guide videos and on my Instagram, I will never fight you over a yoga spot. I don't bend that way and throwing my trick hip out in front of the castle at 5:30 a.m. on a Thursday, not my idea of a good time. That being said, yoga is on Thursday. Yes, Thursday. Yes, Expo Day at 5:30. It's a 1-hour yoga experience which will include a yoga mat and carrying strap and a bottle of water. You must bring your photo ID and complete yoga check-in pass to the event. Please note, transportation to this event is limited. If you're staying at an on-property resort and miss the bus, you've missed yoga. I urge you, I beg you, I plead with you. Take a look at the schedule as listed in the digital event guide to see the specific times that the bus will arrive at your resort for yoga transportation. Y'all, the window is small, like 10 minutes. Now, if you're driving a personal vehicle to this event, you'll need to be at Disney's Transportation and Ticket Center, the TTC, by 4 a.m. The parking lot to the TTC will open by 3:45, security will open at 4, and you must arrive by 5 in order to participate. Guests arriving at the TTC will be transported to the Magic Kingdom via a ferry boat, and those arriving after 5 are, well, just out of luck. Please note the walking paths and monorails will not be available as a transportation option for yoga. Spots along Main Street and in front of the castle for this experience that I will never fight you over are first come, first serve. So if the front of the castle is priority for you, I would suggest being at the TTC and in line to park and go through security early. Moving on to the races, the 5K. The 5K will be held on Friday, February 24th with a start time of 5 a.m. Race start and finish are in the Epcot parking lot. Resort transportation via bus begins at 3 a.m. Those of us riding in personal vehicles must park in the Epcot parking lot with arrival prior to 4 a.m. After the race, bus transportation will be available back to your resort and will be located in the designated area here on the map. Once you arrive onto Epcot property, you'll go through security as if you were entering the park and then walk to the staging area. In this section, you'll find your gear check, food and beverage for purchase, character photo ops, spectator viewing, and my personal favorite, the DJ stage. Runners, friends, and family can chat and hype each other up and take pictures all in this area until the corrals open at approximately 4 a.m. Once the corrals open, runners only can proceed to their designated starting group. Your assigned corral will be located in the top of your bib and will be a letter, A, B, C, etc. Please note, if you're running with a group and you're in different corrals, the members in the higher corrals can always fall back to lower ones. You cannot jump into a higher one in order to run with your friends or family. Spectating for the 5K. Spectating options are limited as most of this course is through and around Epcot, and Epcot won't be open to the public yet. Spectating locations are located at the starting area and the finish line only for this race. As with the pre-race party, your family is more than welcome and in fact encouraged to join you post-race for a celebration in the staging area. Characters will be back, food and beverage will be available once again, and there will be, if I have anything to do with it, a dance party. The course. Race start is in the Epcot parking lot with an approximate half-mile tour of the parking lot prior to heading backstage. Mile 1 is located just before Test Track and will continue to enter World Showcase between Mexico and Norway. Be sure and watch for cast members from each of the countries welcoming you and cheering you on in their native languages. The course continues in a clockwise fashion around World Showcase with the one and only water stop being located in the American Experience Pavilion. Once you've reached the France Pavilion, you'll cross the bridge as if you're headed to the UK, but rather than stay on the beaten path, you will exit via the International Gateway and proceed backstage to the Skyliner station. Your time backstage will be brief, and once you pass the mile 2 marker, you'll find yourself right back in the middle of the world between the UK and Canada. Special shout out to my favorite Epcot Joffrey stand that is never open during the races. Love you. Love you a lot. Run your way towards Spaceship Earth, but hang a quick right between Creation Shop and Connections Cafe. Don't forget to sneak a peek of Guardians of the Galaxy on your left-hand side, and then proceed backstage once again and towards the finish line, which is parallel to the mile 1 marker. Do you hear that? It's your favorite announcers and mine cheering you through your finish line. Congrats on your 5K. The 10K. The 10K will be held on Saturday, February 25th. The 10K is the first race in the Fairy Tale Challenge. Race start time is 5 a.m. with the start and finish locations located in the Epcot parking lot. Resort transportation via bus begins at 3 a.m. Those of us riding in personal vehicles must park in the Epcot parking lot with arrival prior to 4 a.m. After the race, bus transportation will be available back to your resort and will be located in the designated area here on the map. Once you arrive onto Epcot property, you'll go through security as if you're entering the park, and then you'll walk to the staging area. In this section, you'll find your gear check, food and beverage for purchase, character stops, photo ops, spectator viewing, and my personal favorite, the DJ stage. Runners, friends, and family can chat and hype each other up and take pictures, everything in this area until the corrals open up at 4 a.m. Once the corrals open, runners only can proceed to their designated starting group. Your assigned corral will be located in the top of your bib and will be a letter A, B, C, D, E, etc. But please note, if you're running with a group and you're in different corrals, the members of the higher corrals can always fall back to the lower ones. You cannot jump into a higher one in order to run with your friends or family. Spectating. Spectating for this distance serves up a few more options for seeing your favorite runner while on course. As with the 5K, the start and finish line areas are a very safe bet. However, if you or your friends and family are staying in the boardwalk area resorts, they will be able to see you run by. A portion of the course runs on the boardwalk resort side of the boardwalk area behind Epcot. It's very common, in fact I've done it, to have a sizable cheer crowd present on this portion of the course. Way back when I cheered the 10K on in 2020, I stood near the now defunct ice cream shop and had the time of my life. It was so cold that day. All of that being said, if you choose to drive to the boardwalk area in order to cheer, you were at the mercy of the gate attendants in order to park. Remember, they are just doing their job and don't deserve your wrath if you're told you can't park there. A word about spectating at the boardwalk versus the finish line. Due to the proximity of the two locations, your friends and family will need to see you at either one or the other, not both. Due to road closures and lack of Epcot being open that early, it will be impossible for them to make it to the finish line before you cross it. The course. The 10K starts in the Epcot parking lot and takes you out of the property via Epcot Center Drive and in the direction of the main gates. Mile 1 is just through the toll booth plaza, where you will continue on and down one of the 2 ramps on this course. Pro tip, if the incline of the ramps bothers you like it bothers me, walk as close to the grass on the right-hand side of the road as possible. I found that to be nearly flat and not nearly as painful on my ankles as the steep pitch you'll encounter in the middle of that road. The first medical tent is located at the bottom of this ramp, as is the first water stop. Mile 2 is on World Drive, where you will continue until the ramp ends and the redirection onto East Buena Vista Drive is complete. Mile 3 is located as you reach the top of East Buena Vista Drive. The second med tent and water stop are as you enter backstage at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This course is very reminiscent of the 10K course from Wine and Dine, minus the mileage through Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. Enter into studios and admire the side of Tower of Terror, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, and Rock and Roller Coaster. The reason I say it's similar is because you'll be treated to a full-length run up Sunset Boulevard before turning left onto Hollywood Boulevard and then the exit to the park. Continue on by the Skyliner station and the bus bays and get ready to experience that which you may have only heard about: the walkway between studios and Epcot. Yes, walkway. Teresa and I not so affectionately refer to this as lack of personal space alley. There should be a DJ here to liven the place up, but once again, pack your patience pants, especially if you're in the later corrals, as this area will get more crowded as the morning progresses. Once you reach the boardwalk, you'll take a right-hand turn and run the boardwalk resort section around to the International Gateway. Mile 5 is located on the bridge before you reach International Gateway. Then you'll proceed backstage at the Skyliner station. The final water stop is located backstage behind the UK Pavilion. Enter back into World Showcase between the UK and Canada. Once again, shout out to my favorite Joffrey stand that's never open when I need it the most. We're wrapping up the course by running towards Spaceship Earth and between Connections Cafe and Creation Shop and out to the finish by way of backstage between Mission Space and Test Track. Mile 6 is located parallel to the Epcot Park entrance. Bet you didn't know that. Continue on to the finish line and enjoy the post-race party. Congratulations on completing the 10K. The half marathon. The half marathon runs Sunday, February 26th with a race start and finish in the Epcot parking lot. Race start time is 5 a.m. Resort transportation via bus begins, and this is different, at 2:30 a.m. Those of us riding in personal vehicles must park in the Epcot parking lot with arrival prior to 4 a.m. After the race, bus transportation will be available back to your resort, and it will be located in the designated area here on the map. If you are staying at a monorail resort, so the Contemporary, the Poly, or the Grand Floridian, you must use the monorail to reach Epcot on half marathon morning. Half marathon morning only. Must. All right, everyone got their listening ears on because this next part is really important and I don't want you to miss it, okay? If you're driving a personal vehicle on Sunday, you have to be parked in Epcot before 4 a.m. Why? Because they're shutting down the roads that enter Epcot because they're part of the course. So if you miss the 4 a.m. cutoff time, you will be rerouted to the Hollywood Studios charter bus lot off Buena Vista Drive. Side note, that's not even the main entrance, okay? You will then catch a bus to the main entrance of Epcot, but only after the roads have reopened, which will be around 6:30 in the morning. Run Disney makes it pretty clear that all the races start at 5 a.m. and this process can and will take longer than you think it will, especially if you're running late. In fact, you'll just flat miss the race, okay? Don't risk your ability to start the race in order to get a few extra minutes of sleep. You can take a nap later. Got it? We're good? Let's keep moving. Once you arrive onto Epcot property, you'll go through security as if you're entering the park, and then you'll walk to the staging area. In this section, you'll find your gear check, you'll find food and beverage for purchase, character stops, spectator bleachers, the whole 9 yards, and y'all know my personal favorite, the DJ stage. Runners, friends, and family can chat and hype each other up and take pictures and whatnot, all in this area up until the corrals open around 4 a.m. Once the corrals open, runners only can proceed to their designated starting group. Your assigned corral will be located in the top of your bib and will be a letter, so A, B, C, D, E, etc. Please note, if you are running with a group and you're all in different corrals, the members that are in the higher corrals can always fall back to the lower ones. You, in the lower ones, cannot jump into higher ones in order to run with your friends and family. Spectating, arguably the best spectating, happens during the half marathon. Now, why would I ever make such a bold claim? Well, because it's true. There are a plethora of options for spectating this course, so let's break them all down and fill you in on how to access them all. The start and finish line are available to spectate from for this race as well, and you can reach these locations the same way your runner does each race morning. If the TTC is more your fancy, well, guess what? You're in luck. The TTC will be accessible via the monorail beginning at 5:15 a.m. and until 7 a.m. or until the balloon ladies cross through. The TTC is located at approximately mile 3.6. If your cheer squad is staying at the Contemporary Resort, they can come down and cheer for you as you run by and enter the Magic Kingdom along World Drive. Again, this section is only accessible to guests staying at the Contemporary Resort. The Contemporary is located at approximately mile 4.5. Now, the granddaddy of all spectating spots is arguably Main Street USA in Magic Kingdom. Well, the good news is that you do not need a park ticket to enter Magic Kingdom on race morning to cheer on your runner, but you will have access to it only from the monorail. As with the TTC, you'll park at Epcot with your runner or ride the bus transportation. That's always an option too. and then you will hop on the monorail from there. My advice for multiple cheering adventures on Main Street is to get there early. Main Street is approaching mile 5 of the course. Cheering sections are located from the entrance tunnel all the way down Main Street on the left side, so the Emporium and Casey side. Spectators will be ushered out of Magic Kingdom after the balloon ladies have made their way through. Okay, allow me to interject here. Stay on Main Street as long as there are runners going through, okay? When I cheered on Main Street, the crowd began to dwindle as the later corral started coming through. In fact, one lady thanked Teresa and I for staying because, to quote her, "No one ever stays for the back of the pack." Y'all, please stay. Those runners need your cheers and encouragement as much and maybe even more than the faster ones. Please, please stay. Promise me you'll stay. You will not regret staying, I promise. Okay? All right. Now, if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, you can cheer from the main entrance off of Floridian Way, which is approximately mile 6.5 and in the heart of Cone Alley. The last of the possible Magic Kingdom area spectating spots is from the Polynesian Resort, and again, this is accessible to guests staying at that resort. The Poly is located at approximately mile 7. This course does not run through the boardwalk area, so if you and your squad are staying there, they will need to plan on seeing you elsewhere for this course. There is potential for you to cheer from inside Epcot as there are early entry hours for resort guests starting at 9:30. So if your runner is quick like lightning, they will probably be through this portion before 9:30. If, however, they're like me and will be getting their money's worth on this course, you could potentially see them as they make their way between Connections Cafe and Creation Shop. But honestly, in my opinion, you might as well just be out at the finish line at that point rather than in Epcot. You would need a park pass and ticket to get in there too. The course. If you ran the half marathon during marathon weekend last month, guess what? Deja vu is a real thing because these courses are identical. The start line is approximately 1 mile from the staging area and is located on Epcot Center Drive. The walkout is backstage and takes you down the intersection of the ever appropriately named Overpass Road and Backstage Lane. Like, bravo. Oh, wait. Oh, do you still have to use the bathroom? No worries. There's plenty of porta potties there and they're located on your left-hand side as you approach the corrals. Follow the signs and directions from cast members to locate your corrals as they will be laid out differently here than they have been every morning prior. Once you cross the start line, you will head towards the park exit, but not through the toll booth plaza. The first water and medical tent are located just prior to mile 1 and before you exit property. Runners will make their way to the exit ramp to World Drive and continue on this road. Another med tent is located in the median of the highway prior to mile 2 and mile 9 on the opposite side. A water and medical tent are located prior to mile 3 and the entrance to the TTC parking lot. Mile 3 will greet you as you enter the TTC parking lot, and if you have spectators cheering you on, they'll be located a little bit farther up at the ticket booths, which are near the monorail stations. Okay, ready? Hold your breath. Hold your breath. We're headed underwater at mile 4. Did you know that? Did you know that when you're in that tunnel after the mile 4 marker, you're actually underwater? Yeah. It's one of those small canals that connect Seven Seas Lagoon to Bay Lake. Bet you didn't know that. Or maybe you did. I don't know. I didn't know. Not until someone told me, but anywho, fun facts to know and tell at birthday parties. Back to the course. World Drive will continue to lead you by the Contemporary Resort and up to the intersection of Contemporary Drive and the bus entrance to the Magic Kingdom. You'll take a scenic left-hand turn and run through the bus bay and onto the main sidewalk entrance to Magic Kingdom. Now, as you come through the turnstile area, make sure that you look up at the train station because there will be a character there to welcome you home. Okay, gather around. Here's a good pro tip. As focused as you may be, during this section, be sure and take a look around at what's going on. Look around you, take it all in, take a deep breath, and realize that you are currently living what was once only just a dream. Slow up if you can and commit to memory the sounds of people cheering, they're calling your name, the sights of a lit up Main Street. It's just breathtaking. And guess what? You're there. You're there. Okay, now dry up those tears and get ready for mile 5, which is located at the end of Main Street and before you enter Tomorrowland. Continue through Tomorrowland and just keep smiling because there have historically been several PhotoPass photographers here, as well as character stops. You'll begin to straighten the course back towards the castle at the teacups, and you'll run by the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and the carousel. You will enter the castle through the carousel side and continue running through it and down the right walkway, okay? Pro tip for the PhotoPass here, okay? Pen and paper out. There will be several PhotoPass photographers lined up at the bottom of this walkway and they'll be on the ground, all right? If you want an unobstructed castle pic like these, you need to make sure that you are all the way to the left side of that walkway and that no one is on your left, all right? Now, once you spot the photographers, proceed to prance like a show pony and smile. This little tip has worked every time for me and hopefully it will for you too. So, you're welcome. Once you make it through the castle, you do have the option to peel more to the left for another castle shot or keep to the right to stay on course. There will be a cast member directing traffic at the base of this walkway. Now, after you get your second castle picture or you choose to keep moving, you will proceed to Liberty Square via the first bridge on your right. Make sure that you look for a character standing near the Hall of Presidents. That's usually where they are. Make a left turn and begin to run towards Frontierland and Splash Mountain. Rip. Leave the Magic Kingdom via a backstage area where the parade floats are stored. That's so exciting. As a Disney buff, this is easily one of my favorite portions of the course. There is just something about seeing my beloved parade floats sitting in a garage. I don't know, just makes me happy. I mean, it's cool. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, mile 6 marks the start of the ever beloved yet always hated Cone Alley. Yeah, Cone Alley. If you've never run this course before, allow me to explain to you what Cone Alley is, okay? So you're running on a 2-lane road where one lane is for inbound traffic, and the only thing that's separating you and the other lane from oncoming traffic is a row of cones. Just a row of cones, yeah. This area can get very congested as the morning goes on and the more densely packed groups of runners make their way here. Patience, 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 patience. Pack your patience pants here. Don't forget to be kind, okay? Everyone is squished in like sardines and griping about it won't make it any better, all right? Now, thankfully, it's only narrow for a little under a mile and then you're back onto the wide open highway, the brand new one, actually. A water stop is located at the main entrance to the Grand Floridian and mile 7 is located just prior to the Polynesian Resort. A medical tent can be found at approximately mile 7¼ and the only nutrition stop on this course will be located prior to mile 8 as you leave the opposite side of the TTC parking lot that you came in on, okay? Water is through the other side of mile 8 and then you're back on the highway and headed back towards Epcot. Mile 9 is located almost parallel to mile 2 and you're the final medical tent of the course. One more ramp and you'll be home free. This time you're headed up the ramp to Epcot Center Drive and mile 10 will be located approximately halfway up this ramp. Continue on Epcot Center Drive and up a hill, until you reach mile 11 where you will then do a hairpin turn and that will then point you towards Spaceship Earth and your last couple of miles. You'll enter Epcot via a backstage area where there will be a final water stop, usually to the left, and a character, usually to the right. Continue backstage and behind the seas and the land. Mile 12 is located in this backstage area and near the land. Enter back on stage at Journey into Imagination with Figment. Hey, you know what? There's also a real bathroom stop here too. Yeah, you're welcome. Then you'll continue on the winding path around the all too familiar exit between Creations and Connections. Mile 13 will be within earshot of the finish line and just after the gospel choir. Smile big as you cross the finish line, and big congratulations on your half marathon finish. Okay, let's start to land this plane, park this coach, let the magic carpet take a rest. You know what I mean. But before we do, I do want to go over some general information that is useful to all runners, no matter your race distance or your pace. All right, let's talk race etiquette. You ready? Wearing headphones is fine, but please be aware of your surroundings, especially in the corrals and in the starting areas. Cast members and the MC staff will be relaying important information to you via the PA systems, and you will want to be able to hear it. Next, make sure that your bib is on the front of your person. Your bib has to be completely visible so that it can let runDisney staff know that you are supposed to be there, and so that you can get your race pictures after the race concludes. If at any point you were caught on course without your bib, or anyone is caught on course without a bib, actually, you will be removed. This is a safety issue for all of the other runners and cast members, and everyone wants to ensure the safety of the runners who are supposed to be there on course. Please only enter the corral that you are assigned to unless you're falling back to run with friends. For example, if you are assigned Corral B, but your friends are in D, you, my B friend, can fall back to D and run with them, but they cannot join you up in B, okay? Cast members and volunteers do check bibs at the entrance of corrals, and they will send you packing if you're caught trying to jump ahead. Next, if you're running with a group, try to keep it only 2 walkers and runners wide. Walking 3, 4, or 5 plus people across clogs the course, and runners behind you are unable to pass you. This is also the perfect opportunity to play Red Rover and have people bust through your line, which I've done, and it was fun. For me, maybe not for those people, but anyway, just don't be those people. If you're running intervals, proper etiquette is for runners to be on the left side of the road and walkers to be on the right. Raise your hand as you approach your walking segment so as to warn people around you that you will be changing speeds. If you don't raise your hand to warn and abruptly stop, you risk injuring not only yourself but those around you, who will inevitably run into you. I had this happen to me during Princess of 2020. Yeah. I was running with no one in front of me, and then someone cut in front of me and abruptly stopped, like dead stopped, in the middle of the road. I had just about enough time to quickly jump to my left to avoid tripping over her. So, biggest take home in regards to etiquette is to remember the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated. And I'm adding this one on. Remember that you are not the only runner on the course. Also, as with everything, it is what you make of it, okay? Don't let someone's bad attitude or morning grouchies ruin your experience. Don't you dare give them that much power. PhotoPass, let's talk photos. On the back of your bib, as well as in the digital event guide, you will find a code to enter on your My Disney Experience app. That's how you will get your race pictures. If you've purchased Memory Maker or have an annual pass with Memory Maker already added on, you'll have unlimited downloads of these photos. If you haven't purchased Memory Maker, you'll be able to see the pictures, but they will have watermarks on them and you will not be able to download them until you purchase them. PhotoPass photographers will be located all along the course, but in greatest numbers in the parks. You'll be able to see them by their giant rectangle lights and neon lime green huts. They are very easy to spot. And there will always be more than one photographer there, and they're trained to take pictures very, very, very quickly. Please do not stop in front of them. Keep moving. They got your picture, I promise. Also, please do not dart in front of other people in order to get the shot. Again, they got it, I promise. Remember, your bib must be worn on the front of your person with the number visible so that your photos can be correctly sent your direction. Y'all, we made it! I hope this answered any and all burning questions about the Princess Half Marathon weekend, the courses, EXPO, yoga, which you will never find me at, and whatever else you can think of. If by chance we didn't cover something here, please refer to the digital event guide linked below or leave your questions in the comment section down below. I hope to see y'all next week. Y'all, it's next week. Wow, okay. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.